welcome to this cast from round 2 of the 5th SOVL tournament, the 750 points edition, where we are watching a game between Artxerath and Inkvisitor Riistan. Both of these players won their round 1 games, so this is basically the semifinal. And they have showed up with two mobile but still very different lists. The Goatman player, Artxerath, has shown up with the most units possible and with the most aggressive units possible, low on defense and hard hitting, while Riistan has shown up with fast, heavily armored Abyssal. Nothing here is below defense 5, and almost all of his units have Abyssal armor on top of that for that sweet +1 save. His Abyssal Sorcerer commander has Hex, Ruin, and Arcane Web to ensure that he can get those good flanks he wants, and some extra punch for those units. Now, as you can see on the deployment here, the Goatman player has gone all in on ambush. 6 units able to move almost halfway up the map should give him a pretty good control of the objectives. And his giant is the only unit with a ranged attack this game. Now, the previous game I casted was with Artxerath and the same list as well, and in that game he deployed very carefully. In this game, he's deploying way further up the map, all in. And we can see Riistan has chosen to deploy his units on one side of the map mostly. This is probably in hope to offset the fact that he only has 5 against the 8 units of the Goatman player. Looking at the deployment, we can see that the Abyssal Sorcerer and the Abyssal Knights is guarding the right flank, and a single chariot is having to try to fend off 2 of the Goatman chariots in the left flank. And the Abyssal player starts with webbing the mongrels that are threatening to get onto the Abyssal home objective. It stays in place, hoping that the forest is going to make it impossible for the chariot on the right to flank him. Now, with both his Knights units on the right side, the Abyssal player should be able to not end up double flanked by the chariots. And we can see the Goatman player prioritizing getting his chariot onto the Abyssal home objective on the right side there. And let's see. The Abyssal player passes his turn, and the Goatman player starts moving his units forward. And the Abyssal player passes his turn again. Now the question is, where does the Longhorn go? Those things are defense 5, skill 4, so they are no skill 3, sorry. He keeps them where they are, not wanting to overcommit them. I guess not rushing headlong into a fight with the Abyssal Warriors does make sense. Even though I do feel he is close enough. Oh, he was not close enough. Alright, he moves his giant forward, doing his best to ensure that they cannot be flanked, I guess, coming in there, and throws his boulder at the weakest unit on the field for range damage, which are the dragon spawn. Only defense 5, and gets quite lucky with those poor defense rolls. Alright. Let's see. He's trying to get a flank now on the Abyssal player. If you're wondering why it's jumping, it's because I cut away a lot of the waiting in these tournament games. The players can basically have unlimited time turns, and sometimes they do like to think for a long while. I myself included. Alright, looks like this chariot can force a flank onto the Abyssal Knights there. And I guess he's just gonna get charged back, but I guess that keeps the Abyssal Sorcerer facing the wrong way and prevents it from charging that one. He's moving his Knights forward to truly ensure a flank on the chariot there. Now the question is, what does the Goatman player do with his last 2 moves? Looks like he's considering a crazy long flank in there. No. I mean, he does have last move, so okay, he ends up just placing it down like that to ensure he himself does not get flanked. So the Abyssal Chariots do hit with power 8, so they are one of the few ones that can do a lot of damage to these Abyssal Chariots with their 5 armor and Abyssal armor. Alright, this is interesting. Looks like he is blocking the Abyssal Chariot from intercepting the lower Goatman Chariot on the left there, and then setting himself up for a nice side flank on the Abyssal Warriors in the middle. Alright. Not surprisingly, the Goatman player managed to get 50 points this turn, and here comes charges. You can see that he's fleeing his chariot from the knights close to the right objective, and that the Abyssal player has charged the chariot on the far right side and his chariot into the chariot on the far left side. Alright, the far left, the Goatman chariot flees. We get the charge as predicted onto the side of the Abyssal Warriors, and it looks like that's it for the charges at the start of round 2. Now this gives one favorable combat to the Abyssal player on the right. The Abyssal Chariot on the left looks like it's going to get flanked really hard, and the Abyssal Warriors should be able to toughen this out. Now, the Abyssal player has first moved this round, and he uses that in combination with Arcane Web to lock down the Ibex Warriors. Now, looking at the map as it is right now, a lot of the Abyssal troops seems to be facing the wrong way. They're going to have to spend a lot of movement to return to the middle and fight over the objectives. Currently, I'm liking the positioning of the Goatman player quite a lot. Not exactly sure why he decided to block the Abyssal Knights that much in the middle, and oof, he fails one rally test, and he fails a second rally test. That is very unfortunate for the Goatman player. But of course, fleeing with those Goatman units is a big risk. Alright, he passes his webbed unit. What does the Abyssal player do? I mean, it doesn't have that many things to move left. So yeah, here comes the flank onto the chariot, and he can't flee because he run off the map. And then where do those dragon spawn go? They line up in a way where he can actually get that allows the Goatman player to actually get onto the objective if he runs his giant all the way over there. So I guess that's what I would do. Let's see if the Goatman player thinks the same. And after a lot of wiggling, yes, it seems to be what he's trying to do here. Yeah. So yet another round with the Goatman player scoring the objectives. Alright, let's see how the dice turn out. Abyssal Sorcerer, wound. The Knights are angry, and the Chariot is dead. And the Chariot only rolls 2 back, and look, 4+ saves because of that Abyssal armor. Crazy good against Goatman Chariots. Ooh, 2 hits, but no saves from the Warriors. And no return wounds. That's close. Maybe they flee? No, they hold. That's what I would have guessed to have it happen anyways. And that might leave them in range of the Ibex Warriors for a side charge. So let's see how that turns out. Okay, and in the end, they do end up in range, and there's a lot of frontal fighting happening. All the units tied up now, except for the Abyssal Sorcerer and the 2 Chariots, one of which rallies, but not the other one. Oof, painful. It's like a 60-70% chance that they rally successfully over 2 attempts. Alright, now the Sorcerer can of course start throwing hexes around, which can make life quite uncomfortable for any one of the units fighting in front of the Abyssal units. He chooses to put it on the Feral Giant, which is an interesting choice, but I guess he's hoping to wear it down quicker and get it off that objective marker. Alright, the Abyssal Warriors. Not doing the best job at being unkillable, but they do hit back hard. But still lose a lot. Alright, one survives. Alright, does he run? He does. Well, that's some points that he's gonna have to hunt down if he wants them, the Goatman player. Oof, those are bad rolls. Goatman player loses by 3, they should run. Yeah, look at that. And now the Hex Giant, 7 hits, that's a lot. 6 up. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of wounds. But at least he is holding. Alright. Now the Goatman Warriors. Doing a lot of wounds to that chariot. We do have Warcry, so 5 fire this round. And the chariot is off the round. Alright, another round with the Goatman player taking score. But that Feral Giant is not long for this world. And the first charge, Riistan. And does he flee? Or does he counter? That is an interesting counter. I think I would have fled. Maybe he thought the knights would get stuck behind the dragon spawn anyways. Alright. The far left units turning around. Hopefully they can arrive in time to aid the Goatman player before this game's over. Even though I think he's decently in the lead now. Guess he only truly destroyed 1 unit. And Abyssal Warriors do have pretty decent disciplines, so they should probably rally. Oh, those are some slow Goatman Warriors. They might not even make it over there until the end of turn 7. Where do the Ibex Warriors go? That giant is probably going to fall. So he needs to place himself. Okay. He's just ensuring that. Does he try to be closer to the Abyssal Knights to ensure that? No, he's probably just setting up so he can't get flanked by the 3 units that are just slaying his stuff in the middle there. Alright, giant down. 120 points. Oof. Chariot dead. But 6 hits, that's pretty good. Takes down 2 knights. Now they're halved. It's very good for him. With the knights at the bottom mopping up those mongrels. And they keep running. Alright. This will play his first charge. It says Dragon Spawn into the Abyss Warriors, and we're into round 5. Knights moving to position, mongrels rally, and the units on the left side of the screen arrive in time to save the day. The Goatman player, he does have a 150 point lead, but in the 750 points game, those points don't count as hard as in 500 points. Some might still. That's a tough nut to crack. Yeah, just put him there. I don't know if that's his hoping he can fire. The old Abyssal Knights up top. Alright. This dragon spawn not being so dangerous this time around. Ooh, annihilated. Okay, he should be pretty happy about that, even though he's gonna get flanked so hard now. Okay, turn 6. Who's winning this? 150 points up from objectives, but only one unit, and it's the chariot has fallen for the Abyssal player. Those knights, they're gonna rip that chariot to pieces. It's a rough situation for the Goatman player here. Let's see. Can he get back charge with those knights? I guess he can. But if he does, he's gonna take a back charge from the warriors later. These are not the easiest charges to do. Even side charging the Abyssal Warrior in is risking 100 points and potentially just getting killed by the Goatman commander. But he risks it. And he goes in with both of them. Okay, I guess he's hoping to rout him as hard as he can. Alright. The Goatman Warriors moving in to back charge the Knights. If the Ibex Warriors run, then yeah, fair enough. Then the Knights will have to run away too. And then there's the question, you know, like, should you try to charge into the Knights there? Or move into position to try to get onto the objective for 50 points? You can, yeah. You may. What does it do with them on the back? I would try to sprint them onto the objective, no doubt. Yes, there's a risk in that in that Abyssal Warrior. I could charge it. No, he leaves it there. Okay. Alright, 6 hits. That is 1 dead Goatman Chariot, but it does hit back 4 hits as well. Oh, he didn't charge it back because he wanted to leave them in a bad position. I guess that makes sense. In that case, I think I would have fled with it. Like, it would have been more likely to survive. Yes, maybe if you wanted the side flank, yeah. Alright, yeah. Abyssal Warrior goes down. That's 100 points. Knights. They have been. Oh, wow. Okay, they're Hex. That's why they're doing so good. Right? Ibex Warriors on the objective. If they rally, you will get it. And does he charge the mongrels into the side of the Knights? Oh, I double charge it. He wants to ensure that those Knights go. Oh, clever. I did not think that far. Even lower and he fails. That's some unhappy statistics. And he loses the objective. Oh no. Alright, see how it goes. 2 hits. Those Knights have to run away for him to win this game, I think. Only 5 hits out of 18? Oh, that is rough. And the Knights hold. Holy crap. Oof, that is a rough one. I wonder how close it was. Are you kidding me? 8 points. Holy shit. Wow. Great game. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe and I'll make some more.